Hello, welcome to my review of the AutoArt Lexus LFA in 18th scale. This is from AutoArt's signature series of models, and it is a die-cast metal car with opening parts. More on that in a while. But before we look at the model, let's have a quick brief look at the packaging. So here we see the bottom part, the carrier. You've got mounting points there. Quite a nice polystyrene there, not something that's about to fall apart. That's matched by the top part, which has a groove in it for a couple of things that come with your model. So you get a cloth for wiping with an AutoArt logo on. You get a picker tool with magnifying glass, useful for something. And you get a manual with the features of the car and how to operate some of those features. And you get, interestingly, a little extra instruction on how to operate the rear spoiler, which requires a button on the underside. That clearly wasn't included properly in these instructions. So, and you get a certificate of authenticity that comes with the car. The outer packaging is a nice matte finished cardboard box with gold embossed lettering on. We've got some nice things there. Okay, so right, looking back at the model, let's look at the overall proportions. I'm definitely happy with the proportions on this model. I would say the ride height is correct, the wheel and tyre diameters correct. It's being an 18th scale, it's easier for them to get those things right. Okay, right. So one key thing that's worth pointing out about this model, this the standard LFA was the first of two LFAs produced by AutoArt in their signature series, and this rear vent is sealed. It's not actually a vent on the model, whereas if you get the Nürburgring edition of this model car, the later model, which is more readily available and cheaper on eBay than this original edition car, that venting on the back is apparently open, so a slightly better detail. But to my mind, this is the prettier car. You've got the original 5-spoke Y-spoke alloys. You don't have the fixed wing on the back. You don't have the extra aero paraphernalia on the front. So this is my choice of car. It is more expensive. We've got it here in matte black, of course, which makes it a bit harder to film, hence the black background, to get the exposure compensation correct, or to get the exposure correct rather. So carrying on forward on the car, the paint detail on this is excellent. Of course, this is a matte paint, and I don't see any blemishes with the paint. Similarly, the glass, or the plastic, is nicely moulded and well represented. The rear screen has got heater elements in it, which makes it more accurate. The roundness of the plastic is good as well. It's not flat. It's a substantial. The plastic used on this is substantial on these windows. So while we're coming forward, let's look at the wheels. Nicely represented in the correct colour, a nice gunmetal grey, which is still glossy. You've got the brake caliper in there. You've got the vented and drilled discs. Venting in the back there. I'm not really sure that venting is particularly for, whether it's just I mean, you've got venting down here, which would be perhaps for the brakes, but that vent up there, I don't know. I mean, it's not a mid-engine car, it's a front-engine car. Anyway, wing mirrors nicely represented too, with silvering on the back, just your typical sticker though, of course. Windscreen wiper detail is good, and the dash detail looking through the windscreen is good too. The mesh in the bonnet vents, good, you can see through to the engine bay. Nice detail on the car all around there. We've got some slight problem in the front mesh, I'm not sure why. Let's just check what kind of material that is. It feels like it's moulded plastic, so I don't know why there are those two bumps in there, whether that's typical of the model, a problem, or what. Okay, let's carry on to the bottom of the car while we've still got it shut, and let's demonstrate the steering angle. That's good, that does rotate the steering wheel. The suspension doesn't have springing, so that's not going to move up and down, but you do have good detail on the underside. You've got an under tray there, and you've got the cats showing here, drive shaft, etc. Perhaps those are jacking points, I don't really know. Good tyre detail, I would say. We don't have the manufacturer name on the wall of the tyre, just a plain tyre wall there. Okay, then we get to the rear Venturi, and that's where we see the hole for the button which activates the rear spoiler. So if I press that button there, we'll see the rear spoiler pop up, and the rear spoiler does have good detail. It's got really the mechanism there from the real car, nicely done. Now to close that back down, let's just get a view of that as it is in action. To close that back down, you have to be holding the button in, close on the top, let go of the button at the bottom, then let go of the top, and that's going to close it up. So coming back here, we've got the exhaust detail, 3 exhausts, reversing lights, the rear lights are nicely represented there too, and you've got an LFA logo in that rear number plate. Okay, right, let's get inside the car now. So the doors open particularly well and particularly wide on this model. I would say that's excellent. So the hinge point they've put in there is well positioned. Let's have a look inside at the interior detail. There's the door card, and let's go round. So we've got the dash, steering wheel. Let's just see that steering wheel move. Yeah, okay, that's with the moving of the front wheels. Pedals nicely represented. The seats and the seat controls are there. Notoriously narrow seats in a Lexus LFA. And the dishing, seat belts, very good. Ceiling detail, we've got sun visors and a central console in the ceiling underside there. Wing mirror, rear view mirror there again with silvering on. Okay. Center console. Of course, this is an automated manual gearbox, so there's no gear lever in the center console. Right, while we're there, let's open this rear window, which I can do by tipping the car upside down. It's on struts, so it will stay open. We get into the boot compartment detail, and on this model there's a plastic screen between the boot compartment and the cockpit. I don't know why that is, but there is one there. That's a full height plastic screen. It's the shadow that makes it look less than full height. There is a gap in it for the hinges to go through. Okay, right, so coming back round, we still need to look at the openings, so we're going to look at the front of the car. Now you might think this is a wide panel gap at the front. It isn't, that's normal for a Lexus LFA. Open that up. You've got excellent hinge detail there on the bonnet hinges, and underside detail is very good. Engine detail, you've got a strut brace going across the front, in front of the engine, across from the struts. And you'll notice the Engine is positioned correctly behind, almost behind the front wheel line, but not quite. So I wouldn't necessarily call this a front mid-engine car. You've got good detail in there with different coloured items within that detail. Okay. Right, headlights, not bad, all that you'd expect there. Okay, let's really, that is the model. We've looked at the underside already. So thank you very much for watching this video. Do feel free to go to buynowsearch.com, which is an eBay search tool that emails you of newly listed fixed price items within about 3 minutes of them being listed by the seller. Very useful search tool. You can get your free account. You can store a search in there and put your search parameters in. This will work on any of the global eBay sites except for Japan. And you put your search in, and then when the system finds an item that matches your search parameters, it will email you within about 3 minutes of that item being listed on eBay. So, which is quite useful, because once I sold something within 10 minutes of listing it, and of course, what's the chance that you're going to be looking for that item within that 10-minute window? So really you need something else there all the time looking for that item for you for fixed price items. Auction, fine, you've got minimum of 3 days to find an auction item, but on fixed price items, very useful. So buynowsearch.com. Do subscribe to my channel. I've got more model car reviews, 18th, 12th scale, die-cast, resin, opening, non-opening, all of them car models. One helicopter in there which was made by Spark, but do subscribe and do have a look through the models, and there is a playlist of those model car reviews. Thanks for watching, and do watch again sometime.